One of my favorite stories, which is in the program, is a gentleman, an old friend of mine, working his heart out, 12, 14 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week, and never spending time with his family. Hadn't taken a vacation in 4 years. He came through the focal point process. His arms were folded, very skeptical that it's possible to work less and make more money. But he realized that it was true, and so he did what all superior people do, is he acted on new information. Most people will hear what we talk about, not act on it.
Right.
But the very best people will take it and run with it like a football player catching a fumble and running for yards. Well, he went back and he analyzed his clients. He realized that it was not 80-20, it was 90-10. About 90% of his business was coming from 10% of his clients. So he decided to just draw a line at the 20% mark, took his bottom 80% of clients and began to parcel them out like dealing cards to other small companies that could service them better. He began then to really focus on his top clients and to really work them, excuse the word, for referrals. Who else do you know in your level would be interested in working with me and my company? And you know what? They said, I'm glad you asked because I've been willing to tell you for years. You just never asked. So he began getting referrals like a frog jumping from lily pad to lily pad. He began getting referrals from top people to top people to top people. In less than 6 months, he tripled his income. He increased his time off to 1 week per month. He started taking vacations with his family. He started exercising again. He just lost 22 pounds. He literally transformed his life, and his income went up by 3 times.
Wow, that's got to be very gratifying. Well, you've been a mentor yourself to so many people. I'm just curious, who are some of your mentors, would you say? If you give me a couple of people who've really shaped you and some of the lessons that they taught you.
People have asked me that question about mentors in the past, and I really haven't had any. I have followed people like Earl Nightingale and Napoleon Hill, and I like Jim Rohn, and I like Dennis Waitley, and I've learned a lot from people like Roger Dawson and other people who have really done a lot of wonderful thinking in the areas of human performance. I've listened to them all. I love my friends Tony Alessandra and Jim Cathcart. I love the authors at Nightingale Conant because there's so many great ideas. But what I consider myself to be is not a creator but a synthesizer. Is I take ideas like a large river takes water from thousands of brooks and streams. I've taken ideas all my life from hundreds and thousands of sources and then woven them together into one cable of ideas that I then convey to other people. So I would say that virtually everyone who's ever had a good idea has been my mentor.
Okay, that's great. Well, now that you've distilled that all into this cable that's easy for everybody to access, you were just sharing with me earlier today that at one time you felt you couldn't boil down all of your success ideas into one statement. And you think you may be able to do that now. Could you share what that statement is with us?
Well, let me give you a double answer to that question. I have been on more than 1,000 radio and television shows talking about success of some kind. And almost always they say, as we end this show, could you wrap up with one recommendation for success for our listeners or viewers? And so I always wrap up with these words. And then I'll give you my summary statement. Mm-hmm. I say, if you want to be successful, I say, find out what you really love to do, throw your whole heart into doing it really well, and never give up. That's basically a summary statement of success, because that answers the question about goals and focal point and time management and your unique abilities and talents and so on. Find what you really love to do, throw your whole heart into doing it well, and never give up. Now, people have always asked me, is there a single secret of success? And I've always sort of resisted the question, but then I realized recently that